Deep web users of Reddit, what are your worst or scariest experiences you've had while browsing? I did some dark web browsing in hopes of finding weird shit. TBH, it's a bunch of really shit websites that looked like they were designed in 1999. The worst that happened is I went on a sketchy website, then somebody started accessing my camera. The joke was on them, the camera was broken already. I've got a good one for this. I still haven't figured out 100% how this person found out info, but here it goes. I was buying some clothing off of the Silk Road for a while and one day, received an inbox on my personal Twitter account. The person talked about how I was an amateur and obviously didn't protect my identity enough and that they would report me to the police with information about the clothing I was buying. When I initially called their bluff, they went on to say, "Oh really? What would mom and dad's name say about this, or your teachers from school say?" Demanding money in return for not giving me up. Basically getting blackmailed, and I was very nervous because this person had all my info and I thought my Tor browser had been compromised. Later I rationalized that by following the Silk Road up and running Twitter account on my personal Twitter, the person assumed what I was using it for and used my real Twitter name to find out info on me and blackmail me. It ended up just blowing over after I ignored and blocked the account. Pretty scary though. Honestly, most of the highly disturbing content on the internet can be found right on the surface, if you consider highly disturbing to be murder, rape, etc. The deep web is mostly a fairly benign place for the sale of drugs, fraud paraphernalia, etc. by people who aren't really sadistic in their intentions. There is some child porn, unfortunately, but it is pretty actively pushed to the fringes and shunned by most. There are a few almost certainly fake hitmen. I believe I saw what looked like a pretty legit swatting service at one time. I was also around for those Wonka super counterfeit notes which, while not spooky, were definitely pretty remarkable in terms of the enormous illegal operation I was witnessing. Most of the horror stories you hear are just that, stories. The creepy aspect of it all is perhaps the big picture itself. It's harder to buy weed than it is to watch a video of two teenagers beating a hobo to death with a hammer. There was an MLG version of someone getting beat up in a basement. I can't remember his name for the life of me, but I subscribe to this YouTuber who explores and shares interesting things he sees on the deep web for people who are curious, but don't want to go on it themselves. Something that really stuck with me and disturbed me was these human experiment journals, which documented human experimentation on homeless or kidnapped individuals. I have no idea if it was real or not, but it was disturbing as fuck. A great deal of that is long forgotten creepypasta and stuff taken from dystopian novels and passed off the truth. This was really popular after the implosion of the USSR, and people thought they'd found amazing and shocking true stories of government-connected mobsters murdering their rivals by vivisection, and today stream it on the web for cash. Yet no case has ever been found, much less prosecuted, and not even close to independently verified. Stuff I could easily find on AltaVista 10 years ago. Nothing really shocked me, but one was really disgusting, a tutorial on how to cut your own nuts and prepare them to eat. That really grossed me out. Oh, and don't even look for porn. You might see the most fucked up stuff you'll ever see, naked 8yo, snuff, really fucked up BSDM. I had a glimpse once. Was on a site that just streamed the latest GIFs without filter. I'm sure they would lie me to link. Most of it was J-pop boy bands, but one was a CCTV of what I can only assume was a suicide bomber. Since the site had no context, I knew zero info. Raised pedestrian bridge, two guys sitting and talking, other people walking to where they needed to go. All of a sudden one of the guys sitting just blows up. Black gore everywhere. The guy sitting next to him falls over slow motion, like frozen in the sitting position he was in. I have no doubt that he was stone dead. After he falls, a torso splats closer to the camera. Everyone else just runs. I never went back to that site. Not sure I'd call anything there scary. Anyone on Tor knows exactly what it's used for, or what people like to use it for, so nothing was surprising. I hosted an anonymous chat room for a while. It got abused fairly hard and I ended up taking it down out of fear of being busted. Some of the things I saw included soft/hardcore CP, advertisements from sellers on Silk Road, people asking to buy weapons/hits, people reviewing services offered, it was a scam/it was legit, etc., people selling BTC, prescription drugs, photos/videos of hardcore gore. The list goes on. Some people even just chatted about normal stuff. I have visited the deep web before, but as another user said, I mostly encountered crappy style websites and locked websites that required invitation or Bitcoin payment for entry. There's a lot, and I mean a lot, of credit card scammers and fake identification sites, whereby you can literally start a new life for the right price. Passports, driver's licenses and even social security numbers to buy. I read a few disturbing things on there. One in particular I remember was, A Cannibal's Guide to Cutting, Cooking and Preparing Human Meat. It was a very strenuous read as it was so casually explaining what to do. From choosing the right person and what kind of person will taste the best based on various factors, to cutting, blood draining, and cooking methods to achieve the best taste. It was definitely a serious post. And definitely something I won't forget reading. I have not been back since and never will return. There is no need. I once stumbled on a website containing nothing but page after page of legal pornography featuring consenting adults. I was horrified. I had to log on cause it was bothering me how many false things were being said. The deep web is all the unindexed web pages search engines can't look up. Like your email account or bank account. It makes up 90% of the web. The dark web is part of the deep web that runs on dark nets and has websites not available on the surface web. What gets lost about it is that it's not big. King's College London did a study and found a little over 5,000 websites. There is 1 billion surface web websites, so that means the dark web is 0.0000005% of all the websites. That not even a drop in bucket, more like a mist if that. People think downloading Tor will get you trouble, although you could be monitored downloading it, but that is tinfoil hat talk, which isn't true. It's just another web browser but made specifically to hide your identity. It's almost fully funded by the US Navy and was created by them as well. It was made so they could contact each other over encrypted channels and eventually release the source code, and the Tor project was created. You can use it as a normal browser, but it's slow as hell and JavaScript is disabled by default, so it's kinda pointless in that respect. The people that benefit the most are the ones in repressive countries or news reporters in war-torn countries. It allows them to hide their internet history and reach sites they normally can't. Moral or the story is that it's really not that bad, and don't be afraid of Tor. Nothing has happened really to me because of appropriate measures taken. If you are scared of going on the dark web, look up the game on Steam. Welcome to the game. It's a great game that will make you spend hours looking for clues to the Red Room. Yes, the game is about the deep and dark web. It's fantastic. The worst experience I had was when browsing around. It was the middle of the night and I saw some weird link and decided I'll go on a limb, and all of a sudden there are people fucking amputees. Me and my friend were scrolling through some pages, came across a hitman hire. $10,000 for one kill. You provide them with details of who it is, stated no children or public figures, and how long they have to do it. It rocked us so much we just clicked off it and didn't go on it for a while. As far as worst goes, one time when I was 11, I was browsing /b/ or something similar to it when I stumbled upon Dice Roll Determines What Happens to This Kitten, and this thread of users were suggesting things like skin it alive, break its arms, tear it in half, etc. Op followed through and had a series of pictures of this kitten, the first one being completely normal, then another with a broken leg, then the third another leg cut off, Eventually it ends up decapitated and disemboweled. The whole scene was Kodak point and shoot quality images taken in an empty bathtub. In between each picture, other users congratulated Up for delivering. It really fucked me up good. I remember almost being in a complete state of shock. It was really a turning point for me as far as my internet experience goes, like my innocence was lost. Even at 11 I had seen some gore shit, but just the idea of some dude slowly mutilating a kitten and taking pictures of it in stages for the live amusement of a group of twisted individuals was just something I couldn't have expected at the time. I get ill just thinking about it. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button and subscribe if you are interested in more Reddit content. See you in next video.